I think very highly of Kyle Shanahan as a coach. I do think that whoever he ends up drafting at quarterback at number 3, he is going to get the absolute most out of. The track record says that he will. Matt Schaub, Robert Griffin III, Matt Ryan's MVP season, honestly, Jimmy Garoppolo getting him to a Super Bowl. He's had a lot of success with quarterbacks. But there's an element about him that I feel like is always going to be his biggest enemy. And it was on display yesterday at that press conference. Here is Kyle Shanahan.
When we made this decision, we knew that there were 5 guys that we felt that we'd be okay with taking. We knew that there was 3 at the time exactly. That's why we thought 3 was a good spot to go to. After going through this whole process, I feel good about 5 guys at 3. We had a guy probably at first back then, but we knew that wasn't set in stone. And we knew the only way we could figure out a little bit more, especially when you can't work out guys, you can't meet with these people. There's a lot of things you can't do this year. The only way we could go off that is if we got closer to where we could do a little more in-depth thing that we didn't have to hide. And we did. And in that time, I think every candidate's gotten stronger.
So he likes all 5 quarterback prospects, which makes sense given that the 49ers traded up to the number 3 spot, so they have the 3rd swing on quarterbacks in this year's draft. It would make more sense if they like the top 3. They like all 5, at least based off of what we're hearing from Kyle Shanahan. And maybe that is him just talking publicly and not how he actually feels. But I think it's consistent with who Kyle Shanahan is. I think Kyle Shanahan has shown a remarkable amount of, you can call it ego or arrogance thus far in his coaching career, both as an offensive coordinator. Remember Super Bowl 51? The Falcons got in field goal range, up 8 on the New England Patriots. They could have stopped the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history in its tracks right there. And Kyle Shanahan decides that he wanted to keep on pushing the envelope with that offense. Dan Quinn never called him off. Next thing you know, the Falcons, a sack happens, there's a penalty, and all of a sudden they're out of field goal range. They punt. New England drives down the field. They score, get the 2-point conversion. They win the game in overtime. So that's one example of Kyle Shanahan perhaps being a little bit too like Grand Moff Tarkin in the Death Star in Star Wars A New Hope. Nice reference, Paul. Then, a little bit later, another Super Bowl. Oh no, Kyle Shanahan, his 49er team, do you remember what they averaged yards per carry against Kansas City in that Super Bowl? 7. So, that's a lot. They threw the football 34 times to 20 handoffs. If you take a look at the statistics in terms of, the time that Jimmy Garoppolo was sacked and a couple of interceptions that he threw and a couple of runs by Jimmy Garoppolo. And there was a stretch in this game where they should have ran the football, and they would have probably been able to ice the game. They didn't. And next thing you know, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs go on this crazy run at the end of the game when the offense finally figures itself out. They should have run the football more, tried to establish time of possession. They did not, because I think Kyle Shanahan thought to himself, wow, Jimmy Garoppolo's completing a lot of passes in a row. Let's keep this going. That was a mistake. Come on. They threw the football 7 times in the NFC Championship game or whatever. Win with what got you there. And then go back to 2017. Kyle Shanahan takes over the San Francisco 49ers, and they draft Solomon Thomas early on in the draft. I don't have a problem with drafting a defensive lineman early, but when you combine that with the fact that Deshaun Watson was there, Patrick Mahomes was there, and they didn't take either of those 2 because Kyle Shanahan wanted Kirk Cousins. This just goes to show you that Kyle Shanahan looked at Kirk Cousins and thought that he could get more out of Kirk Cousins than anybody. There's a little bit of arrogance that's involved with Kyle Shanahan, and the idea that he likes all 5 of these quarterback prospects. It's him. It's not John Lynch. That, to me, is interesting. And I feel like while he is a coach that is to be respected, if not feared, this is always going to be something that potentially gets in his way. And it might get in his way with the San Francisco 49ers right now.